Metallica Shadowcast discs 1, 2, 3, and 4. Shadowcast being the demos and the build-up to what became the songs that we know and love on Reload. I like this one actually, I think, better than I like the one on the Load set. And I think the reason why is this one actually has more of the rough, ready-to-go lyrics. I'm not going to do it in this video. I'm going to probably do a separate video afterwards where I get into this in more detail. Because they do include a lot of dates in here for when stuff was recorded. And when you look at the dates on here, when these were worked on, when they were worked on for, you can see there was definitely, like, specifically just in this time period, okay? Going with these CDs, going from disc, so disc 1 and 2 are all basically done in 95. Them working on the songs, building them up. Then you get to disc 3. Most of, not all of, but most of disc 3 also goes up until the end of 95 when they were still in the studio. This would have been technically while they would have been working on Load and just finishing up and getting ready to release Load. And then continuing and going back to work on it a little bit right before they go out on tour. Because there's a huge gap. You go from December 6th of 95, which was one of their times they were working on Unforgiven 2. And then the next time you see a date on here, oh, there's a few from 95, sorry. With the exception of Marian Faithfull's outtake for Memory Remains, all of disc 3 is 95. They probably should have put the Marian Faithfull bit at the end. Because it gets into some rough mixes in 95. So you got Fixer has a rough mix in 95. Fuel had a rough mix in 95. Better Than You had a rough mix in 95. Surprisingly, Devil's Dance did not have a rough mix in 95. But Devil's Dance had a full-on take in 95. Oh, and there's a Fixer rough mix for 97 on disc 3 as well, sorry. When you get to disc 4, everything is 97. Like, it's hilarious. It's all rough mixes, it's all 97. So you can see there's a clear difference. And you do hear a time transitional difference in some of the songs. Some for the better, some for the worse. Low Man's Lyric. I also love the working titles on some of these songs as well. I'll get to that in a minute. Low Man's Lyric was heavier, I think, in the Take Two December 5th version. I think they lightened it up for the first one. I think it would have been more of like a big slam down. I hate to say it. It would have been an arena ballad, kind of like big, heavy slam down arena ballad the way it was originally sounding on here. I think I would have liked the way it was sounding before they added in all the extra stuff and lightened it up and made it a little more acoustic-y. Okay. So I love the working titles. Fuel was always Fuel. Memory Remains, Devil's Dance. Oh wait, or Devil Dance. They left the S out. Is actually Devil's Dance, but Better for short for Better Than You. Slither was called Drivin'. That's kind of cool. Carpe Diem Baby was Skimpy. Bad Seed was Bastard. Where the Wild Things Are is Martini. Prince Charming was Fish Tank. Attitude was Lenny. I gotta find out the stories. And Fixer was Fixer, just with one X, so it is. Fixer did have another name at one point. When they started working on lyrics, a vocal idea was called Voodoo Queen. That was not a good vocal idea, and I'm glad that got scrapped. Low Man's Lyric, I think is a better title for the song than calling it Mine Eyes, which was its working title. Fish Tank. I love that title. Oh, it's such a great name. Okay. As a guy who loves listening and the evolution, and you can hear the demos. I love the rough demos when they've actually got the lyrics on them, and you can hear there's difference in the lyrics and stuff like that. I love that stuff. And sometimes I like original lyrics more than I like new lyrics, stuff like that. So I really like getting to hear that on this set. This is really cool. This is definitely not for everybody, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I made a mistake. I pushed through it. I tried to push through it. I did disc 1 and 2 back to back. That was a horrible mistake. Should have done a break in between disc 1 and disc 2. And then I did disc 3 and disc 4 back to back, and that was a horrible mistake as well. Great for comparison purposes, horrible for the brain, because by the end of it, didn't want to listen to any of it no more. I was having a hard time staying awake, man. I'm sitting here cleaning up my table, trying to organize stuff and put stuff away. And oh man, just was not going well for me at all. Okay, so if this was sold just as a set like this, would I recommend it? No, I would not recommend it just as a set like this because of how much it would cost. It ended up costing like $40-50 for the set. If you could get the set like this for like, say, $20, $25, that would be worth it. Because the first 2 discs are kind of... Okay. If I were to do this for mass consumption, I would use disc 1, disc 1 and disc 4 for the most part. I'd pick and choose a couple songs to swap out, or a couple tracks here and there to swap out. But the idea is, if I were to release this for mass consumption, I would do all the core riffs as they were originally written from their box of riffs. And then I would do the rough mix of 97 from 97 for like everything, or the most completed version prior to what went on the album for everyone. That's what I would do. And that as a set for $20, that would be pretty cool, actually. That wouldn't be bad at all. But I would do it a very specific way. Outside of that, I don't really have too much more to add to this. Like this is something that, as a musician, I can appreciate. Getting to hear all the demos and the growth and the evolution. I've done it myself. I've got enough demos of my own from my band. And it's really cool when you get to go back and hear how it started and what it evolved to, and that's great. as a regular, everyday, run-of-the-mill person picking up albums, you know, I don't fucking care. You know, you gotta be into music to really appreciate this, you know, like, because I've got friends, you know, my buddy Pat, for example, he's into music. He would sit there, he'd listen to this, he could appreciate the growth, the evolution. Is it something he'd pick up on album? No, because it's something he listened to once, go, wow, that's really cool, and never listened to it again. Have I listened to Shadowcast from the other stuff since from the load box since I packed all that up? Once I've listened to it, not the whole thing. I did basically what I said here. You know, I did this and this, and then went that and that kind of thing. I'd love to do a great breakdown and analysis that way on these, but because of how that works with copyright restrictions and stuff like that, I don't want to risk the getting dinged, because I love, the one thing I would love to be able to do with doing a music review site is to do some, when it comes to stuff like this, when I have the opportunity to do a deep dive breakdown analysis of, you know, getting to hear how a song started and where it ended, and you know, where I would have made changes, or what changes I think shouldn't have been made, or should have been left the same, you know, stuff like that. You know, I'd love to be able to do that, but I just, unfortunately, man, I don't want to deal with that copyright crap. Okay, so I'm going to leave this one here. I've said what I need to say for the Shadowcast. 4 discs. I think 4 discs is really cool for the optimum experience, to see the growth of the songs from beginning to end. To go to the general public, it could be definitely condensed down to 2 discs. And even at that would be like a record store day limited run kind of thing I'd be willing to do. But that's it. Okay, folks, let me know what you think. Comment section down below. Drop me a line. I am interested. Like button, subscribe button, bell for notifications. Couple links worth checking out. Peace, love, take care.